You're watching an epic battle. King Kong, Godzilla, monsters that have been with us for more than 60 years. Speaking of monsters, over the last 10 years, the Harris County Toll Road Authority has amassed a profit of $3.5 billion. But instead of paying off the roads and making them free, our 5 million easy tags may have become just another way to tax us forever.
What else were we wrong about?
Like the never-ending battle of our favorite monsters.
There's a very good chance people are getting ripped off, but we don't even know because we can't even audit the fund.
I'm sure you've noticed the toll booth operators are gone. Cameras now watch our every move electronically. The first all-electronic tollway in the country was the West Park Tollway. But if you thought getting rid of all that payroll would make tolls cheaper, take a look at this. It's an invoice for more than $681,000. The payroll alone, $467,000 for temporary workers. It represents the billing for just 2 weeks of work by the toll road's biggest contractor, Electronic Transaction Consultants.
To meet the challenges of today and tomorrow.
Harris County has been good for ETC.
These solutions have been deployed by some of the largest and most advanced toll authorities across the United States.
Since 2012, they have been paid, are you sitting down? $200 million. They've been given a sole source contract, which means that no one else can supposedly do what they do. This fee schedule, it shows us we're paying as much as $195 an hour for ETC managers. That's equivalent to a salary of $400,000 a year. But we found one staffer being billed at $287.50 per hour. That means ETC could make $500,000 on that one woman.
I think that there's something seriously wrong with you.
We've been looking through years of ETC invoices, and we noticed that folks at the toll road rarely question these extraordinarily large invoices. But we did find this email from May of 2020 from Hector's assistant director, David Patterson, questioning one manager who had billed 215 hours of work in just 22 days. That's almost 10 hours a day. Every day, he said. I just find it hard to believe. Patterson also complained about the number of ETC employees that bill the toll road for meetings. There are usually several ETC folks, he said, that sit on the call and aren't contributing to the meeting. And that was during COVID. Fewer people were even out driving, what the toll road official called a time of famine. I'd hope to see fewer people on these calls and use those hours for more productive work. We found no evidence the invoice was ever changed. We looked at this invoice from 2 years later, September 2022. 10% of the billing time was for meetings, tens of thousands of dollars. That's when the toll road authority amended its contract with ETC, changed it. ETC was now going to provide not just the technical folks who create codes for the computers, but people to answer the phone when you call customer service. But they did it under that same no-bid contract. Contracts over 50 grand are supposed to be bid out so that taxpayers get best value. But this staffing contract was worth $5 million. At best, the toll road circumvented state purchasing laws. At worst, they may have just simply broken the law. There was no competitive bidding, and dozens of companies can provide customer service operators at the toll road, and they can do it for a hell of a lot cheaper. Harris County already had a contract for folks who answer customer service phones at Hectra. They're being paid about $18 an hour, but look at the monies we're now paying to ChaseHorse and a company called Employment and Training Centers, up to $39 per hour for the same job.
Did you get paid $38 an hour?
Oh no. I got paid $15 an hour.
We talked to some of those temporary employees and discovered that these companies are making a shocking 100 to 150% markup. It's unheard of. And the toll road says it has no documents that explain why the contract was changed, who authorized paying millions more than we have to for temporary workers. Guess it just happened, right? And why aren't Harris County commissioners asking these same questions? The head of the county purchasing department promised me that another staffing contract at the toll road that we busted would be done over because mistakes were made. Well, we're still waiting.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank Wayne for investigating Harris County Toll Road Authority.
Oscar Slotboom is an independent software consultant who's been doing deep dives into Houston highway management for a quarter of a century.
You know, we as people who pay the toll rates need to know where these high tolls we are paying are being used.
Oscar's recent articles in the Houston Strategies blog spot credits our work and has a warning for you. This monster could gobble up our money for decades to come. Another tax in a county that's already raising taxes substantially.
As long as Hectra has any debt, they can charge any toll rate they want.
Hectra's debt will continue for decades at this rate. They're planning to add more than $3 billion of borrowing starting this year. Moody's, the bond rating agency, gives Hectra a high scorecard because of all the toll rate increases.
Well, the Moody's document expects Hectra will start to need to increase toll rates in order to maintain their credit rating.
Increases of at least 2% per year. But wait, Hectra collects more money than it needs now.
What I think I'm very concerned about with Hectra is that they've got $369 million of excess toll road revenues.
State Senator Paul Bettencourt says a big chunk of the so-called excess revenue is being siphoned off to Harris County commissioners for uses that have no oversight. More than $1.4 billion has been put in these enterprise funds in the past 4 years.
No audit path at all from either the state or the county auditor. You've got an unincorporated area of the county that's not getting a lot of that money.
The city of Houston isn't getting the money either. Think about the millions of people who pay the tolls on a daily basis and get no direct benefit from toll road excess revenues. And it looks like this toll road slush fund is actually forcing the toll road to borrow more money because county commissioners have been taking so much of it for their own projects.
What? Okay, now look. They've got enough operating funds. They have excess hundreds of millions of dollars.
Look at this. In 2022 and 2023, Hectra issued commercial paper for a combined $350 million, a borrowing rate of 10%. That's like a cash advance from a credit card. And that cash advance is costing taxpayers $26 million in interest alone. The folks at Hectra wouldn't have to borrow so much money if they didn't give away hundreds of millions to the county commissioners.
You've got cash flow, so why you're borrowing on the future, it all sounds preposterous and bad public policy at a minimum.
They can do what they want. They're exploiting loopholes. They can hire contracts on the sole source basis, and no one's there to stop them or to provide any oversight in the public interest.
It's a tax, and it has to be accounted for.
Expect the toll road to face tough questions at the state capitol. We'll be watching.
Look, there's going to be bills filed on this. There's a lot of question about these expenditures, and we're going to hear about it up in the legislative session.
Good. Someone has to rein in this toll road monster.